How is it that you're never scared?
Who says that I'm not?
What are you scared of?
Let's see. Scorpions are pretty creepy. Being by myself. I'm scared of ending up alone.
Hey guys, back with a new video, and if you read the title, we're going to be taking a look at the only life, Ellie Williams. For the longest time, we can see how her biggest fear was being alone, and at the end of The Last of Us Part 2, her biggest fear came true. Cause look, Ellie didn't have a mom, she didn't have a dad, she had Marlene, but Marlene only watched over her, and Ellie didn't know of her existence until she was 14. She had met Riley when she was in a federal school. She only knew Riley for a couple of months, as seen in the American Dreams comics. And then, in Left Behind, we see Riley had left abruptly and joined the Fireflies without telling Ellie. And we see how Ellie was worried, and the fact that Ellie only knew Riley for not even a year, calling her her best friend. This just shows that Ellie not really has attachment issues, but has this thing called monophobia, which is the fear of being alone, which is what I can understand living in a world like The Last of Us. When you could trust no one, it's very hard to make friends or have a family that isn't trying to kill you. And it hits me very hard when Ellie tells Joel everyone she has cared for has either died or left her. Everyone except for Joel. But as we know, Riley dies. Tess, who she only knew for one day, dies. Then many years later, Joel is dead. So now she's back to square one, truly alone. Dina left, JJ left. I guess she went after Abby because now she's alone. Her desperation to seek vengeance led her to be even more alone and below square one. Just seeing her sitting in the ocean after sparing Abby's life, the person that caused her so much pain, a person she knew nothing about except her name, a person that took the closest person's life from her, a person that caused her not to be able to sleep, eat, or think straight, a person that gave her PTSD. This person, life Ellie took so much from. Ellie killed her friends. She brought down her organization, a person's life she made so miserable. And after Abby took the most important person away from Ellie, Abby realized it didn't do her any good or make her feel better. This caused her to have a change of heart, become a better person, like Joel. But her actions had consequences, and by her taking someone special away from Ellie, Abby ended up alone, just like Ellie is now. But instead of being alone, she learned to forgive and move on and make a new family, to learn to live for other people, like Lev. But since Ellie was so obsessed with revenge, it drove her down the same spiral as Abby. But the difference is, Abby got what she wanted, and it changed her. But for Ellie, going more in deep than Abby, it destroyed her, causing her demise. For Jesse to die, Dina to leave everything for Ellie, just for Ellie to leave Dina for revenge. This is where Ellie truly became alone. Even Tommy turned his back on her, because revenge left him alone too. It caused him and Maria to take some time apart, and by Ellie leaving, everyone who she had left and finding Abby, and seeing how an almost dead Abby made her almost change her, and having her realize the person she became. But when she held Abby and Lev and went to the boat, the glimpse of Joel's dead body still haunts her, causing her to change her mind, thinking killing Abby would change the past. So as she fights Abby and almost drowning her, she starts to cry, and as she cries, she gets another glimpse of Joel. And instead of the glimpse being about anger or wishing you could change the past, this glimpse was more about forgiveness, causing Ellie to let go of Abby. And maybe not forgive her, but to let go of the revenge. And by her thinking about Joel on the porch, playing guitar on the night she decided to try and forgive Joel, it relates to Abby, causing her to cry and tell Abby to just take Lev. And my theory is, when she said the words, just take him, she may not be referring to Lev, but instead as to Abby taking the memory of Joel, or as a simile to her being fine with Joel's death, to tell her to just take him. Both Ellie sobbing and us seeing Abby look concerned or confused, staring at Ellie, maybe wondering why she didn't kill her, we see Abby and Lev drive off in a boat, and as the camera pans out, we see Ellie crying, sitting in the sea as Abby and Lev drive off into the mist. This scene is a true epitome of loneliness, and as the screen goes black we see a hand with 3 fingers wearing Dina's bracelet, confirming that Ellie in fact went back to Jackson and saw Dina again. Also, on a side note, I like to think of when Ellie went back to Jackson and when Dina saw that Ellie was alive, it was a distraught moment seeing Ellie with missing fingers and a hole in her side, and maybe even Ellie having a depressed look on her face, with Dina wondering if she found Abby, did she kill Abby, or wondering what happened, but also being grateful that Ellie is still alive because Dina did tell her that if she left, she's not doing this again, wondering if Ellie is dead the whole time. So I'm not sure how much time has passed of her being in Jackson until this part of the prologue, but I like to think enough time for Ellie and Dina, if they are still together, to talk and have Ellie make the decision to go back for the guitar at the farmhouse, because we do see everything in the farmhouse is gone except for Ellie's stuff, maybe signifying that Dina simply left Ellie behind with hope that she may come back and get her stuff, or the thought of despair leaving her stuff behind and leaving away the memory of her the same way Ellie left the memory of Joel. So as Ellie's at the farmhouse, probably going back for Joel's guitar, and when she picks up the guitar, you see she's unable to play. She's unable to do the only thing left that keeps her memory of Joel alive. And as she's unable to play, she thinks about the night she tried to forgive him, the night before he died. And maybe by her not forgiving Joel is why she spared Abby. Because look at what Ellie not forgiving caused her to do, what it caused for the people she pushed away. So maybe by Ellie forgiving Abby, something truly might change for her, rather than Ellie not being able to forgive Joel, which led her into a life of darkness that overtook her. And as she thinks about this, she decides to put down the guitar, leaving Joel behind and causing him to be a memory of the past. As the camera pans into the moth on the guitar fretboard, we see, as the blur on the outside of the window clears up, that Ellie is walking away from the house and the guitar. That signifies the relationship with Joel and the relationship with the house, signifying the trauma of her and Dina's dream and how it became a bad memory for the relationship. So, as we see Ellie walking away, making her way back home to Jackson, and maybe being reunited with Dina for good this time, this scene is very impactful because it defines that Ellie is truly alone, but maybe going back to make things better. This game really made me realize that I feel alone. This game is one of my favorite games because it opened my eyes to the world we live in. Although The Last of Us world is fake and fiction, it still opened my eyes. Like, if the world were to break down, do the people I have in my life really care about me the same way Ellie and Joel care for each other? I look around my room, all these toys and things. I realize they don't make me happy. They don't make me feel good. It's just a coping mechanism, I guess, for me to feel less alone or afraid. But deep down, it really doesn't. I know I said, unlike Ellie and Joel, maybe I do have people in my life and I know they care about me, but do I care about myself? That's the question I ask myself. And that's what this game had done for me and opened my eyes. And I can relate to Ellie, even though I don't understand the psychology behind it. Even though I know people in the real world I've met been through worse, I don't know why I relate to this character so much. And that may have motivated me to make this video because I can relate to this fictional character so much. Not in a sense of psychological relation, but mentally. Like I'm in the same headspace as her. Just her feeling of loneliness, I can relate to. Maybe that's how No Druckmann feels. Maybe this is what he was trying to get us to see. Even when I'm in events and parties and everyone's talking to each other, maybe no one's talking to me, I feel alone. Maybe one day I'm talking to people and laughing. It's still in my head that like these people are judging me, my self-esteem being lowered, make me have the tendency to block people out of my life, I guess. And I know it doesn't make a lot of sense now, I guess, but I hope in the future these feelings change. This game really opened my eyes to a sense of realism. But with that being said, hit that like button, subscribe, and may your survival be long.